Happy New Year, everyone. And we
Happy New
figured
Year.
we would see how Gene's
Roger,
New Year is going to go.
it's 2026.
It is.
Can you believe that?
Well, no, I can't actually.
I can't either.
But we're talking about New Year's Evil today. We have the
It's going to be a crazy
ancient
year.
DVD
Crazy
here.
year, and it's already started out.
Well, and we're seeing if we can get Gene off to a good start for the new year. Gene, where are you at with New Year's Evil?
New Year's Evil, Roger. I'd say clearly likes this movie because he has the DVD copy.
Well, I have thousands of DVDs. It doesn't necessarily mean I like the movie.
Yeah,
or
that's
not.
right. You're a collector, yes, like the bone collector, but you're the movie collector.
Mhm.
Movie collector. But I was to say that this movie has a clever idea. And you got to give props to people who have clever ideas, and then they move on that idea, and they made a movie out of this clever idea.
Mhm.
And the clever idea is that, well, of course, little, I don't know what lesson, I guess, but everyone knows this, but the United States is divided into time zones. Oh, anyway, there's this killer, serial killer. He decides that he's going to kill a person on each time zone as they commemorate
Right, the
Year's.
stroke of midnight.
the
he's gonna
stroke
kill
of
someone.
midnight. Yes.
and he
So-
records it. Audio
and he records
recording.
audio. Yes, and so he's a crazy guy. He escapes from some sanatorium, right? And so, but this movie, again, give you props for having a clever idea, but then it quickly dissolves or dissuades or disintegrates into all the usual tropes, and it's like maybe I could give more props for this movie if it continued in its cleverness, but it just seemed to denigrate into just like the tropes of just like there's the confused, ignored son, the Keystone Cops, they're the size 6 blondes who are the victims, and then they're all like weak and helpless. There's the career obsessed mother who's distant to her son and doesn't take care of him, although he is flashing warning signs all over the place. But she's so obsessed with her career. It devolves into these usual tropes. And then also, there's this like some kind of subtext that they're saying that punkers are somehow evil. Because there's quite a lot of bit of airtime given to these punkers driving in this actually really cool car, going to this concert that's being hosted by the main protagonist woman. And they're like, the cops keep saying, there's a lot of evil around here. Yeah, but just because they're punkers, really?
Well, you have to remember it was 1980.
Yeah,
So of course there
1980.
was tremendous fear of this new thing that
Because they dress
these
different.
parents
and-
didn't understand.
Yeah, guys, they had spiked hair. And so, yeah, of course they're bad. So we have to fear them. And then there's a lot of sequences of them dancing in mosh pits for some reason. I just kind of think they didn't know what else to put on the screen, so they showed these guys in mosh pits.
A mosh
Had
pit that they
nothing-
didn't really understand
No,
what a mosh pit was.
They really didn't understand. Right. It's so
Okay,
funny.
you guys, you extras, I need you to kind of just run into each other periodically.
Right, you're not really dancing. You're just running into each other, and you're trying not to look at the camera. You can just tell.
Right.
It's just like it's so cheap, And so the movie's like that.
But Gene, you're missing the major trope. That brings me so much joy. At once,
Just tell me, Roger.
one sequence, of course, this girl gets pulled into this garbage dumpster and killed. And then the cops show up later. They open the door to the dumpster, and what happens? A cat comes jumping out.
Yes, I
and
know.
And the
there
one
were-
cop's like, how did that get in there?
Yeah, how did the cat get in there? And there was other cats in this movie too.
Yeah.
So there was a cat lover. Yeah, some producer or director was a cat lover.
I just love it. It is the ultimate trope of every slasher movie and almost every horror movie where, yep, you're opening a cabinet drawer. There's a cat
scared
in there.
cat. Like even in the movie Alien, Ripley has a cat.
Yeah.
So-
But anyway, sorry, Gene, go
I think
ahead.
the cat had blood on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the movie progresses, and it's just got the usual things. It's so predictable. It's not scary at all. But I do have to And I like this movie. I didn't like this movie. But I do have to say that in watching this movie, you can kind of see how movies kind of build on each other. You know, how like directors, you know, it's not plagiarism. We all stand on the shoulders of other people, right? You know, creative people. And so in watching this movie, there were certain scenes and some of the music that made me think, you know, right now I am watching the first Terminator movie. Because this movie, all of its outdoor sequences are filmed at night and using the same kind of film stock that you can just tell was used in the 1984 Terminator movie. It has the same look, you know, that old fashioned gritty color, maybe oversaturated color kind of look. So, but there was another sequence where the music score is virtually identical to the music score in Terminator, like some of the action scenes. And so I did some research and looked up James Cameron, and, you know, he a lot of his inspiration for the first Terminator was, you know, watching, you know, B horror movies and getting some of the ideas from them. And so did this not mention in anything that I read that Cameron mentioned this movie, but you can just tell the influences are there. And the music score, again, is virtually identical. Again, not to say that they stole it, but, you know, you use ideas from that are already out there. And so it's good to see, you know, how one movie influences another. So that was pretty cool, I thought. You know, so I got to give props to James Cameron. You know, nothing's original under the sun. He just has great ideas. You know, but then also it's just like this killer, He's not a very good killer because he succeeds in killing the size 6 nurses. In the East time zone, he's successful. He kills a nurse. And in the Central time zone, he kills 2 blondes. And then he fails. He tries to kill this girl who he kidnaps in a drive-in. But
after being chased by bikers.
After being chased by bikers. Oh my gosh! Because his distracted driving, and he runs into the back of this biker. They're in a motorcycle group, you know, and so they start chasing him. It's just pretty funny. But he fails to get somebody in the mountain zone, and then he tries to the penultimate. I'm not saying that word right. He kills the protagonist, the woman, the movie star, when it's Pacific time in California. But he fails in that too, although it's really weird that all of a sudden he becomes a super competent and expert elevator technician. Right. Knowing how to manipulate elevators because he hangs over with the chain from the bottom of an elevator, and so he sends her up real high because he can control everything remotely now, right? And then I guess the idea was to send the elevator super fast down and it would crush her, I guess. Well, something like that, but it totally fails. Yeah, and so, but he does end up kidnapping this woman, and then there's this, and I felt really, as a person who lives in Anchorage, Alaska, I felt really insulted, because the next time zone that they referenced was the Hawaii time zone. Like Alaska doesn't even exist. What's up with that? So it kind of gives the preview that this woman's going to get it when it's Hawaii, when Hawaii celebrates New Year's.
Yes.
Yeah. So I talked a lot right there. So, I mean, the movie is enough to talk about, I guess. Just watch it. Is it entertaining in a kind of weird way, you know, because you're watching it and you're making fun of the movie? You know, this movie would be like a good drinking game kind of movie.
Possibly.
Yeah, like you drink every time there's a stupid trope appears or something.
Well, but I also think this movie is a very weird movie. You've kind of caught snippets of how weird this movie is because out of nowhere there's a biker chase.
Out of nowhere, yeah.
And I think the whole thing where it's set up to where it's this big punk thing going on, there's not really any punk music going on here. This is a weird. Right. We don't really understand what the punk movement is.
It's like just rock and roll.
Yeah, it really is. And the punkers, you get introduced to these punkers right at the beginning, and you assume they're going to be the main characters, kind of like in Return of the Living Dead, where here's the punkers, they're the main, you know, they're going to be scene throughout the film,
Right.
getting
They spent
killed
it
and
in
stuff.
order at time at the beginning.
Right. And then, no, they really didn't matter at all. They're
No,
just in the
not at
crowd dancing. And of course, just like Gene said, yeah, they didn't understand
They don't understand punk.
pogoing and punk rock
No,
music
mosh pits,
and
they don't
the
get it.
slam dancing and all that
Forget
stuff
it.
because it really is not that. So they're trying to capitalize, as a lot of slashers did. Whatever the new hot trend is, let's capitalize on that,
Right.
put it on film. And it's not realistic as to the actual scene. If you want information on the actual scene filmed while it was happening, there's an excellent documentary called "Decline of the Western Civilization," which focuses on that. Have you seen that?
No, although
Okay.
I'm going to watch it. Decline of Western Civilization is because of punk rock.
Well, that's the title of the thing, but it interviews Darby Crass of the Germs, and X is on there, and Fear is in there. So it's a really cool documentary. But anyway,
Cool.
I think this movie, of course, was just capturing the, hey, we've got to have a holiday-themed horror because
Yeah.
Friday the 13th is going through the roof, Halloween went through the roof, My Bloody Valentine's coming out, all this stuff. And this one really doesn't know what it wants to do outside of the really cool premise. They set up a red herring of the son. There's a hilarious scene where he's talking about, I think I'm insane, as he's putting the stocking over his head and stuff.
It's a red stocking,
yeah.
so he looks like some bank robber out of some 70s
Right.
TV show. Mannix made me think of that.
And stuff like that. And so, but the bigger problem with this is immediately who the killer is. You don't understand his connection to the main cast, but it's not like most slashers where it's a shadowy figure or he's wearing a hockey mask or whatever. Nope, there he is. It's Kip Niven, by the way, who's totally hilarious in this movie. One of my favorite lines in the film is when he's got Roz Kelly, who of course played Pinky Tuscadero in Happy Days. He's got her captured finally, and he's listening to her heartbeat, and he's like, "Oh, I can hear your heart." I don't like that. I love that line.
I was going to write down some of the lines in this, but they're so cheesy. I mean, it's just really.
Yeah.
They were just making it up as they went along, I think.
And I just think some of this stuff is just we've got to pad out the running time. So here's another musical number from the band, and then
They were all rocker bands.
Right. Yeah, they really were, and stuff like that. So do I like this movie? Yes, because of its insane nature, such as random biker chase for no reason. Why is he putting on a mustache when he goes into that bar? I don't know. Nobody knows who he is.
Nobody knows what he looks like.
Right,
It doesn't matter.
Why did the cat get in the garbage can? And
A dumpster, yeah.
and stuff like that. Well, with the metal lid clearly shut.
Right.
And so there's a lot of interesting things like that. He at one point wears a Stan Laurel mask, which I thought was kind of cool. And actually that should have been what he was wearing a lot because it's a kind of a creepy mask.
Yep. I thought it was a Richard Nixon mask.
No,
with the
it's
nose.
Stan
Okay.
Laurel. Yeah, Oliver and Hardy.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, slasher completionists probably have already seen this. If you're going down that road of I must see every single slasher that's ever been, this is one of them.
Yep, slasher for sure.
It's better than some of the other I must see every slasher. It's not as good as My Bloody Valentine, any Friday the 13th, any of that stuff. It's definitely a step down, but I certainly would recommend it at least once in your life. I've seen it probably 12 times. I did see it during its original run.
Amazing.
At the Denali Theater of all places,
Which doesn't exist anymore, right?
It's now the Beartooth Theater Pub.
It kind of exists.
But yeah, so it's there, but it's not there. But
Yeah.
and I think, again, Kip Niven, I really enjoy his performance in this because he's just interesting character. You might also remember him from Magnum Force, where he was one of the evil cops that Clint Eastwood had to blow away.
I don't remember him. Yeah. Although I like that movie.
Well, and the other thing, Gene, I don't know if you caught so there's this one scene where they do the ending of Psycho kind of thing, but it's not the end of this movie, where this psychiatrist guy is explaining to Roz Kelly, her manager, the main cop, and this other cop, all this stuff about the killer, the psychological profile of the
they
killer.
bring in the psychologist,
And-
just like in Die Hard, they brought in the
Right, but
psychologist.
this
to explain
guy-
the Stockholm syndrome.
This actor does not understand, hey, you're in a cheap slasher movie.
Yeah,
Why are you acting like it's some sort of Broadway thing and you're just like, auditioning for future roles, which I'm sure he did not get any of them because his
Yeah.
acting is so over the top awesome, in my opinion. It's my favorite scene in the whole movie because he is just really playing into it and the other guys are just
it's like whatever.
why are you doing it this way? Why are you doing it like this?
Yeah, we're on a $100,000 budget here. So we're using the cheapest film stock we can find.
Yeah, and you're acting like it's, Apocalypse Now or something going on.
Yeah,
here,
this movie Elias Rogers getting pointing to is very inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I guess that could be kind of its appeal. You just don't know what's going to happen next.
No.
Because nothing. Yeah, it just kind of just happens.
Yeah.
Just goes. But again, it's a clever idea. It's good to see like how Cameron took ideas from this movie and others, and it made it into his own movie. The Terminator. You can see the roots of Terminator kind of in this thing. So yeah, that was kind of cool. I mean, watch it.
Well, and
but know that you're not. It's supposed to be scary. I don't think they're really trying for horror comedy here.
It's not scary. Yeah.
And it's not scary at all.
No,
Yeah.
it's very much a traditional slasher. They made the big mistake, though, of not having enough gore in this thing.
Yeah.
Basically, everything is aftermath. Oh, here's this shadowed scene of the person being killed, and then someone discovers the body, and here's a quick shot of what happened.
Right. It made me kind of think that this movie, when it was released, had maybe a PG rating.
No,
because
it was R.
It was R, but it doesn't have enough gore, right?
Mm-hmm.
To make it that horrific element.
Well, and
that
I think it
shocks
just
you in
would
that
have
way.
promoted it a little more as far as being a better movie than it is, where, okay, here's another cool gore set piece, Because, I mean, when you look at like Friday the 13th, really that's all that is let's get to the next cool gore set piece. Kevin Bacon getting the arrow through his neck, stuff like that. This doesn't have any of that.
No, it doesn't.
So, yeah, it's
Which is kind of a letdown, yeah.
It's almost an earlier version, a 60s era mindset with how we're going to show people get killed and stuff like that. Because it's always shadows or here's the knife.
Yeah, held up high, and then, you see the knife going down, but there's no victim there.
But you could do a lot worse than this movie if you're looking for a slasher for sure. So I'm certainly recommending it at least once in your life. You should see this. Gene, I think.
Yeah, a tepid recommendation. It's just like, just give it a try. But watch out. To watch this movie, I had to get a subscription to MGM. I couldn't just get a rental off of Apple TV, which is how my usual how I pull these things on movies. And so as soon as the movie ended, we went to the account and canceled the thing. So we won't get that recurring charge. So, but watch out. Some movies, require you to purchase a subscription. So you have to make sure that you cancel it.
Well, my hope is some bigwig at MGM was like, man, this dude got us just for New Year's Evil and then immediately canceled. What can we do? Oh, let's maybe make a sequel to this or something.
Roger, that came out of nowhere.
Got to pull these guys back in, You subscribe just for one movie.
Yeah. But I do have to say, I'm going to go back to that Terminator link. It was a very interesting reading about James Cameron's, because Terminator, I think, was his second movie. And his first movie was a movie that he was making in Italy or something like that.
Well, you're talking about Piranha 2, The Spawning?
I think so, but he was saying that at one point he didn't have any money. Like, he had no money even to fly back home, and he was living in some wretched hotel in Italy. And
because he's churning out Piranha 2, The Spawning.
Yeah. It just made me think that you just got to start somewhere. It's like, I appreciate, again, I got to go back to the cleverness of this movie. It has a vision. But, it's like maybe it's a new year, I mean, do you, as our audience, do you have a vision? Maybe the silliest thing ever, but, just go through with it. Just make it, just do it. It may be total garbage, but who knows? It may be great. Maybe it'll inspire something that is great later on, but you have to take that first step and like.
Well, and
this,
the fact is, if it's a horror movie that you're creating and it's total garbage, and we reviewed on the show, Gene will probably hate it, and for some reason, I will probably
for some reason
enjoy
you'll
it.
probably like it. Yeah. But I would say, like, yeah, maybe that's the thing in 2026. To go back to that is just follow your ideas, make something, even if it's just crazy and you think it's not going anywhere. Just do it.
All right.
Because later on, maybe it's you'll be the next James Cameron.
How many movies did people hate that now are revered as classics? Right.
Yeah,
John Carpenter's The Thing is certainly one of them.
Stands out as one. Yeah.
But anyway, Gene, what are we doing next week?
Roger, just like always, we have no idea.
I did send you a text a week or two back about a movie that you should check out.
Which I don't remember.
Yeah, it's an interesting little film, so maybe take a check of that. But anyway, we're starting off 2026 apparently with a bang. New Year's Evil. Check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
We will catch you next week with something. Who knows? We probably need to get Scott Eggleston back on the show.
Yeah, we need to get Scott. Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, we'll catch you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.